After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War. High tensions and proxy wars defined this multi-decade ideological, political, and international conflict. It would all eventually culminate in the fall of the Soviet Union and the destruction of the Berlin Wall. This was the apparent end to the paradigm that had existed since the end of the deadliest conflict in human history. Two halves of the world, each heavily influenced by the alliances and superstates that hovered above. In the West, NATO, spearheaded by the United States, and in the East, the Warsaw Pact, led by the Soviet Union. These superstates would effectively become the nerve centers of their hemispheres, largely dictating the course of the culture, and consequently, the local way of life. Even now, after all these years, the impact of the Iron Curtain can still be felt in the land, in the infrastructure, in the art, and in the people. The point I'm trying to make here is that, in the West, we imported the American way of life while our own took a backseat. For a large period of time, this was largely benign, as we already shared the acknowledgement of the most basic truths and the most cherished and noble ideals. However, with the advent of the 21st century and that of the digital/information age, certain ideologies began to spread like a wildfire throughout America. These malignant and divisive ideologies eventually spread their cancerous tendrils throughout the entire West, effectively taking hold of the collective consciousness. Even today, we keep importing the sludge that the rotten core of cultural America produces, but unfortunately, the same cannot be said for certain gems. Sound of Freedom is one of those gems. It's a movie that actually addresses real, important problems with the modern world. Now, I can't speak to the quality of the movie because unfortunately, it is not available in my country. This is a problem. If we can't filter out the trash to at least purify the flow of art, we must, at minimum, import the few diamonds in the rough in order to offset such insanity and lack of societal standards. And I can make that claim with full confidence because we live in a time where the eradication of child trafficking becomes a controversial, partisan, and divisive topic. This is not about partisanship and about religion. This is about upholding the most basic standards of our own humanity. But I'm way past the point of believing this is all an accident. This moral blurriness is by design. They want you to have no standards, aka a foundation. If you have no ground to stand on, you become that more susceptible to accepting the slimy moral surface that they will offer to you. If they can make you think that this is a great topic, they can make you think that north is south, south is north, 1 + 1 = 3, and so on and so forth. The end game is for you to not believe in your own lying eyes, but instead to trust in their words. In this sedated existence we have in the West, such art like Sound of Freedom is not desired by those who are ideologically possessed, simply because it would allow you to touch base with the real world. Outside of outright banning the film, they will stifle it any way they can by not publishing it, back when Disney had the property rights, defaming the lead actor, JimCaviezel, defaming the man who saved these children in real life, Tim Ballard, and lastly, categorizing this movie as a right-wing Christian power fantasy / conspiracy theory. The appropriate answer we must give in the face of such tactics is to support such works like Sound of Freedom. The support must become massive, overwhelming, and most importantly, undeniable. Now, that becomes hard to do when only one country is allowed to have a vote on the profitability of such ventures, and obviously, on the course of contemporary culture. So my question is, what can other countries do to bring this movie to the international market? If anybody has the answer to this question, please write it down below. Do not discount the importance of actively engaging in this cultural renaissance. Also, before you go, just keep in mind that if you happen to value the truth, if you happen to value liberty, if you happen to value basic morals, and you crave a return to normalcy, then you are my ally, and the time has come to take the gloves off.